From the very beginning, I've been telling you to let the woman chase you, not the other way around. And I'm sure you've heard this advice countless times, but when it comes to reality, things seem different. You feel like it's impossible for a girl to chase you. And most girls, if you ask them, will say, I would never chase anyone at the same time. A woman is naturally drawn to the man she's chasing. And you find yourself stuck in the middle, not understanding anything and unsure of what to do. Welcome to this video where I'll answer all the questions running through your mind about the art of chasing. First, you need to understand something important. There are two types of chasing when it comes to women: logical chasing and emotional chasing. Logical chasing happens when a woman pursues you based on logic, meaning her interest in you stems from a clear benefit she sees in doing so. For example, if you are rich and hold a high status, when she sees you in this position, she will think to herself, if I enter a relationship with this man and he likes me, I'll benefit from it. I'll get money, he'll buy me gifts, and I'll live a comfortable life with him. So what does the woman do? She starts chasing you because she knows it aligns with her interests. However, this type of chasing comes with two major problems. The first problem is that this is extremely rare and difficult to achieve. I don't want to be like other YouTubers and tell you that you need to make money or achieve high status, because this is something obvious and doesn't need to be said. Plus, chances are you may not have these things at the same time. 99% of people don't possess these qualities, even though they can be valuable if you do have them. The second problem is that this type of chasing won't lead to a strong, meaningful relationship. You might notice that women act wild and excited around you when you showcase your financial success, but that's only for the money, not for you. She might stay with you, but she will always be on the lookout for someone else who can fulfill her core emotional needs that money simply cannot satisfy. So if you plan to be a sugar daddy for some girl and have loads of money to throw away, by all means go for it. Otherwise, trust me on this one, I've been there myself, and I can personally assure you that a gold digger can drain money from your pockets faster than a vacuum cleaner sucks up dust. If you want a girl who loves and chases you for who you are, then this type of logical chasing isn't in your best interest. Now it's time to talk about emotional chasing, which happens when a woman starts chasing you because of her feelings, because she's genuinely in love with you. In this case, her actions are beyond her control. She can't stand being away from you or spending time without you. She becomes willing to do anything for you. This type of chasing is what creates love in her heart, makes her enjoy being with you, and allows you to enjoy being with her even more. It's also what makes the relationship last longer. Listen to me carefully, because I'm about to give you a golden rule. A woman will never truly love you or develop deep feelings for you unless this type of emotional chasing takes place. So how do you make it happen? If you've been following this series from the beginning, you're probably aware that in your relationship with a woman, there are two main stages: the hunting stage and the chasing stage. The first stage is when you hunt the girl, and the second is when she starts chasing you. These two stages are the foundation for creating the concept of emotional chasing in today's video. We'll delve deeper into these two stages. Let me give you an example to help you understand. Imagine this is you, and there's a friend or someone you know who came to you one day and gave you a cigarette saying, "Here, take it and smoke it." You took it, smoked it, and liked it. 5 days later, the same person came back and said, "Here's another cigarette." You took it and smoked it again. This cycle continued for a while. After some time, you started liking the cigarette so much that you began going to him yourself saying, "Give me that cigarette." At this point, he no longer needed to come to you. You were the one seeking out. Then after a while, you went to him and he said, "No, if you want the cigarette, you'll have to pay for it." Now you've become addicted to the cigarette, and as a result, you're chasing him and paying him to get it. In essence, at the beginning, when he was giving you the cigarette, he was in the hunting phase, and later, you became the one chasing him, needing him, and paying him. This example is exactly how the dynamics of romantic relationships work. Don't worry if it seems unclear right now. I'll explain every phase and every word to you with complete clarity in the world of romantic relationships. When you approach a girl, you start by giving her a small amount of attention, then you pull back only to return later and give her some more attention over time. She begins to crave that attention. Eventually, she starts seeking it out herself. This is when the dynamic shifts and she starts paying the price for women. The currency in this context is sex. Of course, this doesn't mean you directly go up to her and say, "Give me sex in exchange for attention." No. This process happens subconsciously without her even realizing it. I understand that this might sound a bit manipulative or even delicious, but what I'm explaining comes from the lens of human biology. I'll go into greater detail about this later. But for now, I just want you to grasp the concept. In summary, you hunt her, and then she begins to chase you. Let's start with the first phase, which is the hunting phase. This phase is all about taking initiative. You need to be the one who takes the first step. If you've been following this series, you've probably heard me say in one of the videos, be the chooser. Not the chaser as a man. Your role in the dating market is to choose you. Select the girl you want, and since you are the one choosing, you need to take the initiative at the beginning. When you meet a girl for the first time, you are typically the one who needs to initiate the conversation. You are the one who needs to take the first step, and you're the one who needs to ask her out on a date. Here, we arrive at the first checkpoint in the hunting phase, which is asking for a date. Pay close attention. Even though you are the one taking the initiative and hunting, you should not chase her. You must not be a follower. You need to be a hunter. This becomes apparent in the way you ask or request a date. Wait, how does asking her a simple question make you a follower? Let's take a closer look. This is one of those subtle, unspoken signals you communicate without even realizing it. When you ask her something like, "When can I see you?" or "When are you free?" Here's what you're actually saying. You're asking her to take charge and make the decision first before you can take any action to move things forward. You're putting the ball in her court, essentially saying, "You lead, and I'll follow." So how does the role of the hunter look? The first thing you need to do is stop asking follower questions and start turning them into hunter statements. In other words, stop asking her what she wants to do and start telling her what you're going to do. For example, follower, "When are you free to go out? What do you like to do for fun? Where do you want to go for our date? What are you doing tonight? Hunter, tell me. When you're free this week, I want to take you to the best spot ever. You'll love it. Meet me there at 7. Wear something nice." Follower, "Would you like to go out with me sometime?" Hunter, "Message me. I've got a fun idea." Follower, "Can I get your number?" Hunter, "Put your number in my phone. Let's stay in touch." Follower, "Are you free on Saturday?" Hunter, "We should grab a drink the next time we're both free. Let me know what your week looks like." Don't ask her. Tell her she doesn't want someone timidly asking her what she wants. She wants you to know what to do. And just do it. The more confident you are in leading her, the more comfortable she will feel following you. This is the difference between someone who follows a girl and someone who hunts her. Let me give you a very important piece of advice. If you ask a girl out on a date and she says no, giving you an excuse. Let's say you said, "Let's meet on Sunday," and she replies, "No, I have to meet a friend on Sunday." Don't try to suggest another day like saying, "Okay, let's meet on Saturday or Monday." Simply respond with, "All right, no problem. Let's leave it for another time before I explain how a date should go. Let me clarify an important point. Imagine you've met her, and everything went perfectly when you get back home. Do not send her any messages or try to talk to her once the date is over. Take a step back, then after a week send her a message again and suggest another meeting. Stick to this system. Message her once a week to initiate and propose a date. This way, even though you're taking the initiative, you're not chasing her. So imagine you're still in the hunting phase, and she sends you a message in this case. It's perfectly fine to respond. The key, however, is that you only initiate contact once a week. Stick to this system until you reach the stage where the girl starts messaging you daily and consistently engages with you. When you notice that she's texting you every day, that's when you know she's starting to like you and has developed feelings for you. But for now, let's stay focused on the hunting phase when it comes to the date. This is a broad topic, and I've covered many techniques to follow on a date in other parts of this series. However, for now, I'll focus on the key points when dealing with a girl during a date. Your primary goal should revolve around one thing only: how to jack up the energy of the interaction. But before diving into the dynamics, let's first address a common issue. Sometimes a girl might show up late for a date. The rule here is that you should not wait for more than 10 minutes. Many guys wait for hours expecting her to arrive eventually. If this happens to you, don't let her get away with such behavior. Simply leave the place and don't excuse her for being more than 10 minutes late. If you don't hold her accountable for this early on, she'll start taking you for granted, and it will happen more frequently. You need to show her that she's not the most important thing in your life and that you have better things to do than wait around for her. On the other hand, there's another common tactic I've seen many people use, and I used to do it myself. Showing up a little late on purpose. The idea is to make her wait for you, putting yourself in a position where she's the one chasing. Not you, however, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of this approach. In my opinion, being on time is better. Women today are not as stupid as they used to be. If you consistently show up late on purpose, she'll notice and catch on to your intentions. That's why it's better to show up on time. Now let's move on to what you should talk about during the date. Everything you talk about should have an emotional impact on her. Every question you ask should spark her emotions. Avoid boring questions like, "What do you do for work?" or "How was your day?" These are questions she's likely heard from countless other men, so you need to set yourself apart from the crowd. Always aim to connect with her on an emotional level. A great way to do this is by asking questions that emotionally resonate with her. For example, ask her questions like, "Do you remember the last time you did something so exciting that you couldn't stop thinking about it for days? When was the last time you laughed so hard if you were guaranteed not to fail? What would you want to become? Who is the person you care about the most in your life?" This is a topic I've covered in a previous video in this series, so if you haven't watched it, I recommend going back and watching it to get more detailed insights on what to do during a date. The key is to focus on triggering her emotions during the date. There will be moments when you feel that the conversation has reached a high level of emotional involvement. At this point, you should do a kiss test to see if she's ready for a kiss. Typically, when a girl is emotionally charged, she won't refuse a kiss. Now let's discuss how to end a date successfully. You must ensure that you don't spend so much time with her that it becomes boring. When you feel the conversation has reached its peak and you're both having a great time, that's the perfect moment to end it. The final step is to leave without promising another date. Most guys end a date by saying, "Let's meet again," or "I'll call you," but that's not the right way to do it. A great way to maintain mystery is to leave the date without mentioning anything about a follow-up meeting. I won't go into detail on this topic here, as I've already discussed it in the series, How to Attract Women. Please go back and watch it so you can follow along with me better. And of course, I'm talking about this in the context of the hunting phase. In any case, at this stage, you should continue giving her space. Let her think about you. Meet her once a week for a while, and after some time, you'll reach a point where the girl is the one messaging you every day, calling you every day, and wanting to meet you every day. At this stage, you've transitioned to the second phase, which is the chasing phase, where she starts pursuing you. Here's what you need to do. Don't always be available. For example, when she calls you, don't always answer. And if she asks to meet, tell her you're busy and have other things to take care of. This is a mistake I've made many times in the past. The moment a girl becomes attached to me, I make myself available to her around the clock. Every message she sends or requests to me, I agree to, immediately. The result is that she gets bored of me quickly and her feelings for me cool off. This is why I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you want to keep the relationship long-lasting and enjoyable, you need to make her chase you. But look, you should only do this when you know. Notice that she has started messaging you and talking to you daily before that. Don't if you're still in the early stages and she sends you a message and you ignore it. She won't care because she hasn't developed feelings for you yet, and if you distance yourself too early, she will lose interest. This kind of distancing should only happen when the girl is already attached to you. Once she's attached, distance yourself and let her chase you. How do you distance yourself? Don't always be available. If she wants to meet, sometimes say yes and other times say no. And this isn't manipulation. I've seen many guys in the comments saying that what I'm explaining here is deceitful or manipulative. It's not. I'm simply telling you what a girl wants from you. A girl wants drama, a challenge in the relationship she wants to chase.